Hello and welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at GP Summit 2024. My next guest is Ward. Ward, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and you are yet another awesome speaker at GP Summit 2024 with Peloton.
Yes.
And you mentioned that the topic that you spoke about is reducing build times. And this is something very dear to our heart at Build Propulsion Labs. We have a name Build and Propulsion, like that's exactly what Build Propulsion Lab is about. So this is absolutely awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. Generally, what your setup looks like, what was the problems, how do you solve them, like we want to know everything.
Yeah. So I work on, I'm an Android engineer, but I work on mostly our mobile builds at Peloton, and we have a lot of different Android apps supporting a lot of different devices. And we are very heavy Gradle users and dev velocity as well. So our talk was just on how we use a lot of the tools that we had to actually make data-driven decisions about our builds and drive those build times down.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And okay, so I wonder what kind of problems did you see in the build? And I think that will just be a very useful advice for everybody out there. What to look for? What are the bottlenecks that I can kind of recognize in the code, in the build code, and then tackle it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. Everyone is different. I like having tools and observability in place and things, because if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. So we had dev velocity for years. I think maybe like 4 or 5 years, and that was like one of the only observability tools we had, and it was great for us. But we also added some other tools that gives us like a lot of information just on like the Gradle task invocation, and then everything that gets kicked off after that. But we didn't have like full visibility into our like entire CI pipeline, and so when you kick off a build or make a pull request, the actual build part that you're doing, like the Gradle task you invoke, is only one part of it. You're still like checking out code, or you're spinning up a runner, you're checking out code, you're doing that build, you're potentially posting results to Slack or internal like tools, uploading test results, and we didn't have observability on all of that. So dev velocity was great for that build portion, but we wanted to add observability everywhere, because that at the end of the day, if the build fails and it's not in that actual build step, we had no way to like track that.
So how do you tackle that? What do you need to do in order to get observability on your entire tool chain?
Yeah, I mean, for us at Peloton, we use Datadog as our backend observability, and there's basically like a one-click integration into GitHub Actions to get full observability into that pipeline. So with that, we were able to like see everything that was going on there. But anytime we were like actually like tracking down individual problems of like a specific build, the build scans were like the most important thing we had, because you can see like exactly how long a task took, whether that task was on like the critical path for that build itself, and yeah.
So basically, the combination of the velocity was build scans, and then Datadog for the rest of it kind of gave you the entire thing.
Picture.
Yeah, nice.
I think one of the other things, so we add a lot of custom tags and values to our builds, which makes it easy to query on different things. One of the things that I found really interesting as I was putting stuff together for the talk was I was going through a bunch of build scans and like looking at things, and one of the things we do is we every single Gradle property that you have in your home Gradle folder, we put all of those as properties, as custom values in our build scan, and it let me track down certain things. There were a few engineers that had turned off caching, or had turned off caching on their local machines probably years ago and didn't know about it. And it was interesting to see like they've just been living without caching for a significant amount of time. And when you go and actually look at those users compared to the like rest of the users in our code base, they had significantly higher build times than everyone else.
That's
so just
fascinating.
like reaching out to them like, hey,
fascinating.
did you have this for a reason? They're like, no, I copied something a long time ago. And
From Stack Overflow.
Yeah, and then it's been like that forever.
So first of all, this is a great trick right there. So just take all the information that you have, stuff like what you have in Gradle properties. It's one great example, and just tag it as custom values to the velocity because you have unlimited, and then you can sort and slice and dice and see those eye-opening findings. And I love that. I love those anecdotes. Tell me one more. Like, boom, we never thought that this is a thing.
I don't know. I talked about this in our talk a little bit, but we run most of our builds on GitHub Actions, and we bring our own infrastructure with AWS. And we were just running on like what I call like default AWS instances or like EC2 instances, and they had really slow I/O capabilities for our builds. Gradle's pretty I/O heavy, and then Android builds in particular are very I/O heavy. And we ran into an issue where once more of our runners were on a single underlying node, that I/O doesn't scale, and we saw a slowdown in our builds because of that. And then what we ended up doing was just like switching to the exact same like size of instances, just with way faster disks, and it improved our build speeds like significantly.
This is a great story. Yep. And the way to find it is again just look at it.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, if you never look, you never know.
Yeah, we looked at a build scan, and for one of the tasks it pulled from cache, it took 200 milliseconds to pull from remote cache.
Yep.
But it took over 6 minutes to find all the inputs to that particular task, which that should take like a second. So that indicated like there's definitely something wrong with our I/O there.
Excellent. Excellent. Great stories. Ward, thank you very much. Appreciate your coming. Appreciate the interview, and appreciate some good words about Gradle and the velocity. This has all been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And for you folks, stay tuned for more episodes of the Build Proposal Lab at DP Summit 2024. We have planned tons of interviews for today, so you will get some really, really good material out there right after that. Thank you.